Hello, I'm Mark Moxham and welcome to Dropping the Fat. In this episode we take a long look at the induction phase and different ways you can use it to make your diet more successful. Our reader's question this week is about supplementing vitamins and minerals, and in our Healthy Click feature we look at the recipe section of lowcarb.ca. All that and more to come in this edition of Dropping the Fat.
All right.
Now, everyone who does a low-carb diet properly must go through a period that we call induction. All the main controlled carb diets use it: Atkins, Protein Power, South Beach and the rest. And they all have an induction period, although Protein Power likes to call theirs the intervention. It's during this period that you drastically limit your carbohydrate intake for typically 2 to 3 weeks. Although some people get quite a buzz out of the rapid weight loss, and they may continue without ill effects for longer. Normally, after that, each of the controlled diets allows more variety, and with that, slightly more carbs, so that you reach your target weight at a slower pace the nearer you get to it. Now, it's a sweeping generalization, I know, but it's also true that practically everyone loses fat during the induction period. However, it's after that that the problems start for some. Here's why. The induction phase of all these diets is, as you know, the first real contact that people have with any low-carb diet of any worth. Its newness normally means that we don't actually have any experience or knowledge about the subject, so we're obliged to follow guidelines. And that would normally be something like a book or a well-constructed program, hopefully. Naturally, when you're doing something by the book, you follow a well-worn, tried and tested path that others have proven works, so it's no surprise at all that it's going to work for you too. However, after having achieved what for most people would be terrific fat losses, and having proven to all, especially ourselves, that the diet works, most people move on to the next phase of the diet. And quite rightly, the ones who get to this stage are happy to tell anyone who will listen about their amazing success. Now, with such brilliant results under their belts, and the resulting praise and adulation that's heaped upon them, it's no surprise if at this point they become experts. Well, at least in their own opinion. And of course, experts don't really need to consult books, do they? After all, they know it all. At this stage, people move on to having more choice about what they can eat, meaning that they have to start making more decisions about what they eat. They've now built up a certain amount of knowledge about the diet, so they don't have as much need to consult the manual anymore. They've proven the diet works by doing it, and so as far as they're concerned, they've become veterans of the diet. Now, veterans of course no longer need to do things by the book. They can make their own decisions after all. And even if they make a mistake about it, well, it doesn't matter because, well, they lost weight easily the first time, and it'll be just as easy to do that again. I think you probably can see where this is going. Too many people get post-induction slowdown in fat loss, sometimes even a fat gain, because they get cocky and try to go on their own. Honestly, if any of these points strike a chord with you, just get back to the book, or the manual, or the plan, and follow it. If you do that, 9 times out of 10 you'll be back on track in no time, and the joys that you knew when you first started will be yours again. Which leads us neatly onto the first of the alternative uses for the induction phase of a low-carb diet. In truth, induction is not just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Far from it. You can use the induction phase as many times as you need to when it's appropriate. Induction, if you like, is the big reset button. You can use it to overcome bad habits, which may have crept in like we've described above, or if you've gone totally off track for a while and become what I call a prodigal dieter, It's a great place to come back to restart your plan for health and fitness. Some have described it as a bit like coming home to something familiar, wholesome, and something that just works. Similarly, if you've been on a bit of a binge, say for a wedding feast, or you've eaten to excess over the festive season, Induction has a wonderful way of righting wrongs in both body and conscience. And don't forget, the induction phase of virtually all carb-controlled diets is a very successful way of breaking a stall. So if you slow down a bit, go back on induction. It works nearly every time. Also, a use that's not widely known is following it as a way of limiting your intake of different foods while you go through an elimination diet to see if you're sensitive to certain foods. Many people have found this to be true for them, in that they have seen problems with their skin, their digestive system, energy levels, brain fog, and many other things improve when they've been on the induction phase of their diet. Let me quote Dr. McCullough. He says, "In terms of food sensitivities, a comprehensive nutritional approach is extremely important, as most people's sensitivities dramatically improve when they follow the nutritional plan. This includes avoiding sugar, fruit juices, and most grains and pasteurized dairy products." On a personal note, it helped me discover I was sensitive to grain-based carbs. Also, some people have found that their IBS has been reduced or eliminated when they went on induction. All those things are food for thought. Taking all this into account, one of the most important jobs that the induction phase does, either the first time you use it or if you use it later on in your path to health, is that it helps you get back in control of your body and how you want it to be.